If you like Taste Test and you want to keep the music digestion sessions going every week and get some exclusive bonus content, stick around afterwards for details. But first, let's start the show. Have a taste.
You are now in the zone. The zone with Taste Test Live.
What's jazzin'?
What's jazzin'?
It's time for Taste Test Live. I am Damian Lamar, producer and host of Taste Test on WJCT 89.9 FM. WJCT is North Florida's NPR station, and my radio show Taste Test is a 1 hour, twice weekly music program that comes on Saturdays and Tuesday nights at 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 Pacific. We are glad to be back again for some interviews, music news, laughing,
yes,
sharing some stories,
yes,
smiles, catching up with Blue Francois. And joining me, of course, are my co-hosts, my Taste Test Live co-hosts, Blue Francois and the lovely Miss MJ Baker. Welcome, my friends.
Hello.
Thank you.
How was your week been?
Good.
MJ with the dark lip. I'm loving my dark
Oh,
lips.
yeah.
I like your dark lip too.
Moody.
They're popping.
They look full.
Yes.
You know, I realize that you do that often.
What?
Even though you like pick at the girls for doing that, you do that often.
I do.
Yeah, like, oh, really? Oh, my lips. Okay. All right. Well,
I like being a girl.
yeah, we have fun on Taste Test Live, but Blue, can you tell a few moments or take a few moments and tell our first time listeners, people who've never heard of Taste Test Live, what our podcast is all about?
On Taste Test Live, you'll hear what we call music digestion sessions, where we discuss what's happening in the entertainment industry. Our weekly podcast also features exclusive artists, interviews, and music you probably won't hear anywhere else.
If you are interested or know someone who might want to promote an upcoming single, new album, concert, or just drop by to share your newest project, get in touch with us.
You can do that by heading over to our website at tastetest.live. Head over to our contact page and complete the form to be a guest on our show. We've been away for a couple of weeks, but we're back, and guess what?
What?
Before I let you go away, can I put this in your mouth?
Oh.
Tonight.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Can I put it? That sounds
Before I let you go and let you walk away.
Can I put this in your
Should I
mouth?
put this here? That's kind of selfish. That's a selfish statement. But okay.
I told y'all I got some stuff lined up. Y'all better be tuned in.
Oh, my
Okay.
goodness. I'm having all kinds of visuals now.
It's like the girl's at the door and she's going, that is so selfish. But okay, 5 minutes.
Did you say 5 minutes?
5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes.
The first drop.
Oh, my goodness.
I love you guys.
If y'all was hoping for a Rihanna and Drake collaboration on her upcoming album, Kiss That Dream Goodbye. And
Oh, wait a minute. Come on.
I thought you were going to say yes.
yes, Rihanna finally, because I think we mentioned it before on a couple segments.
Yeah.
But Rihanna's confirmed that she's doing a new album. It's going to be a all reggae album.
Wow. That's going to be
So,
All reggae, yeah.
that's
Straight
gonna
up to
be
her roots.
amazing.
Yeah, and New York Times Magazine interviewed her, and they asked her a bunch of questions, and they said, "Hey, are you going to be working with Drake on this new project?" And she said, "No, not anytime soon." She shut that rumor down quick. But she Rihanna said, aside from being romantically connected, the pair have joined forces to make smash hits like "Work," "Take Care," and her first collab, "What's My Name." So with those smash hits, she's like, "Hey, I'm moving on. Gonna do a new album. And I'm gonna do a reggae album, focus on my roots, and I'm just gonna do my thing. And Drake will not be on there."
And that's okay.
Yeah, that's
good for her, though.
Yeah.
That's good. I can't wait to hear it.
Next, open up, yeah, open wide. Essence magazine reported Ciara was leveling up into an Ivy League school, which is Harvard. The singer was recently accepted into the Ivy League School of Business and Entertainment, Media and Sports program, which teaches students how to develop and execute more effective business strategies, according to the school's website.
So is this a web-based school?
No, Harvard?
Or is this no, I'm saying, you know how some Ivy Leagues offer online class courses. So
I think she's going to be attending classes. I don't think she's going to be to every class because of how famous she is, but I think they do offer private for celebrity. You know, with Harvard they have like small classes. So like it might be like 4 or 5 people in the class,
and like a group.
Yeah. So it's not, you know. And then I think the other stuff.
Ciara, Ivy League, Harvard.
Yeah.
Business.
Yeah.
And media and sports.
She's not a great singer. She has something to fall back on.
Ooh.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
That's loaded.
That slipped out of my mouth.
You sure that slipped out your mouth?
Yeah. I mean, I never bought an album.
And it just keep happening.
Oh, by the way, I listened to your album. I like your album, LJ. I would listen to that before. Ooh, never mind.
Wow.
Don't do it.
Oh my goodness. Are we dropping shade trees like that?
Oh my goodness. I mean,
I'm just saying that's good for her because that was a good business move for her because she needed a backup plan.
She has.
I think she's been doing successful. She's, you know what, when you think about Ciara, she's maintained her relevance over the last few years by just being
in social media.
She leveled up in a relationship.
Yeah.
Too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you think about it, like.
Yeah.
So she's leveling up all the way around.
And that's the black love.
Sometimes, you know, and you have to, let me say this too. Black love is beautiful, but let me say this. Some people have to grow and everybody's rate of growth is not the same. I'm learning that. You know, and for those individuals who don't know that I'm recently single, without disclosing too much information, sometimes your growth is not, you want your person or your partner to grow at the same rate that you may be growing in, and that's not always the case.
Right.
So that's just an observation. So, you know, she leveled up. She got out of a relationship that wasn't good for her, and she, you know, got into something that was going to be in line with where she's growing, right? I think, yeah.
They said she did a prayer. They got this thing called the Ciara prayer. You heard about it?
Oh my gosh.
Where she wrote a list and I guess they sharing it, so they calling it the Ciara prayer for the new boyfriend or husband, whatever. And she wrote a list of what she wanted in a man.
Ciara didn't do anything that any other woman wouldn't do that came out of a situation and was a single mom.
The Ciara prayer.
And she went to the Lord and said, "Here's what I want," and the Lord supplied it.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
For $47 million worth or more or plus. I think that was his signing bonus.
Yeah, plus. Yeah, he got way more than that. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Well, what else are we putting in our mouth?
The next thing we're putting in our mouth are I'm not gonna say that. Kim and Kanye finally released and reveals the new baby name.
Oh my goodness, and this name.
Kim Kardashian and Kanye West have named their child Psalm West.
Psalm. S-P-S-A-L-M. Psalm.
Like the Bible.
Psalm West.
Do you know what psalm means?
Song.
Yeah.
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 So
you sure it's not pronounced psalm?
Don't do it. Don't do it. You just added to the forest.
People Magazine.
I just want you to know.
Oh my God.
Where's the match?
People Magazine had a source told People Magazine that the Bible is very important to Kanye and that Psalm is one of his favorite books. He reads the Psalms a lot. He talks about the Psalms he loved. So on that level, the baby name isn't a surprise. The source also knows that Kanye really identified with King David, the author of the book of Psalms, saying that David was a mess, always falling into sin and messing up. But the Bible says he was a man after God's own heart.
But the Bible didn't say Kanye was.
Listen,
I
believe in Kanye, okay?
Next.
I wonder what is the baby's nickname gonna be though?
Oh. Well, they're religious now, so it probably will be something.
Segue.
Baby G.
Fade. Transition.
Nah, he's throwing shade.
Oh my gosh, he added to the force.
I'm gonna tweet this to Kanye. I'm gonna tweet this show to Kanye.
Don't do it.
Treble Clef. Treble. They're gonna call him Clef.
Scripture.
Did you say scripture?
Incantation.
I'm just happy that he found himself. He's saved.
From what?
Well, he has a church. He has a, he does the church thing.
What does that mean?
That he's changed. He's not having breakdowns anymore.
Y'all move on, because
Two more things. MediaTakeout. I don't know if y'all familiar with MediaTakeout.
yes.
Mm-hmm. They just reported that Steve Harvey will be losing his third job. He lost 2 jobs already.
No.
They canceled his daytime show.
Wow.
They also canceled.
Well, he's still on the air. He just has to finish out.
He's gonna finish out his contract. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but the first 2 they out. They're gonna show reruns, but they're not filming anymore. The third one, which is Family Feud, when his contract expires, they're not gonna renew it. They're gonna replace him with someone cheaper. Yeah. So, but I was bringing this up not to get into, because right, he did Little Big Shots, Family Feud, and he had his daytime talk show. Very good host, very entertaining, but it's so funny and ironic how he did that when Monique came on the show, and he was just saying, "Oh, you gotta do this, you gotta play," and Monique was just saying, "Hey, I don't want to be their puppet. I don't want to, but you gotta play the game like how you gotta do what these folks tell you to do. You can't be too black. You can't be too," and then she was just like, "But you gotta have integrity though, Steve." And so it was so funny that I actually watched the when Monique went on.
I did too. I saw
you saw it?
Mm-hmm.
And I liked the way she handled it. She said, "Hey, I don't want to tear him down like he did me, because he was really my friend. I actually call him a brother, but just because this happened to him, you got to think that he actually is losing his job. He's losing his source of income on all the things that he's doing to support his family, because his wife doesn't work. Like, they spend his money, so he has. He was working 3 jobs because they have a lavish lifestyle. You know what I'm saying. So anyway, but I wanted to bring this up. Like, it's funny how the tables turn when. Because after that show,
I think that same thing happened to Wendy Williams. I had mentioned that a couple shows
Yeah.
back. How Wendy would literally have formats like this, where she invites people to come into her radio show when she was on the radio, and she would grill them and dig all into their business and try to make them look like imbeciles and fools. And look at what happened.
Yeah,
with her. So
now,
Well, now but the one thing I do like that Wendy Williams is doing, she is telling people some of what's going on
on her show.
On her show, she's not hiding.
That's good.
Like,
for her to be
what
a
I'm
little bit more
saying,
transparent.
it forced her to really kind of start sharing a little bit, even though I don't think she's not sharing
didn't
everything.
Want to. Yeah,
but she didn't want to, but she is or whatnot.
She has to. Yeah, that's all
but okay, so with Steve Harvey though, he was on the DL Hughley show, and something that because DL was like, what did you really mean when you were talking about integrity and different things like that? And he was saying what he was like, I wish we would have, he was like, really, that was not a conversation that we should have had, on air. He said, but it turned into that, and it shouldn't have been that way. He said, but what he was trying to say to her was, when she was saying you have to walk in integrity, what he was saying was, we still have to be conscious of, he was like, hey, I have to be conscious of the fact that I have a family to, family to feed, in that the reason why she's in the situation that she had the beef with those 3 people was because of something that was really small that could have been resolved differently. And what he was saying to her was, go ahead and do it, and trust that in the long run you're gonna get what you're gonna get the residuals from it. And what she was saying was, but I still have to walk in the integrity of, she wanted to get paid. Basically, a part of it was she wanted to get paid for going on the promo tour.
Yeah.
And what he was saying was, even though they weren't paying you, you got an Oscar. So you still should have went on the promo tour and build a relationship. It's just like when we're as musicians, it's like sometimes when you go into a new place, you're not always going to get paid what you normally would at a place that you're known and the people know you, so they know you're going to bring in a good crowd. Sometimes you have to take, when you first start, a little bit of a pay cut and tell your band members, hey, instead of you getting paid this $50, we're going to have to go down to $25 just so that we can prove to them. And then once this happens,
once we get in the door, the sky's the limit for us. And so I think that's what he was trying to say to her. I don't think he was trying to say lose yourself in the industry, but when he was saying you got to play their game, he was saying be wiser, be smarter, different things. And when he explained that on D.L. Hughley's show, I said, okay, I can understand his perspective, right, and what he was trying to say. And and isn't he like executive producer on some of these shows?
That's what I'm saying. They also had contracts, and they're going to be relieving him once they expire.
I wonder what
even
happened
of the
though.
Executive producer.
Like the specifics, because that's drastic to me. For you to be relinquished of your contracts, be asked to leave. I mean, is he a liability? Like, what's going on?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, they replaced on Little Big Shots. They replaced Steve Harvey with someone younger and to give a fresher look. So they pretty much was just changing everything around just to fit, just to fit what they're trying to do. They said that they want to go forward in a different direction.
Was it the same network? Is all these the same network?
Little Big Show, and I think
Little Big Shots.
Little Big Shots, and I know Family Feud is a different network, but Little Big Shots and his own, they was on the same network. So
But see, I feel like he's executive producer on some of these shows. I'm a research that.
That's who's replacing him. Melissa McCarthy is replacing him as host.
Yeah. Melissa McCarthy?
She's a comedian.
Yeah, she's a comedian.
I know, but she ain't young. I mean, she ain't that much younger.
Yeah.
She's like late 40s. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was stumbling. I was trying to find a better way to. Matter of fact, USA Today said the comedian who's 62 is being replaced by Melissa McCarthy as the host of NBC Little Big Shots just days after NBC canceled his daytime talk show. So, yeah. So, last but not least, we just got word from DJ Maceo PR. Grammy Award-winning DJ Maceo of legendary Afrocentric rap group De La Soul is teaming up with SSH Investments to build a budding pizza franchise. Pierre's Eatery is a unique culinary mix of French, Greek, and Italian food, all made fresh daily from top-quality ingredients. Pierre only serves meat from humanely treated animals. There is no pork on site, which results in delicious culinary twists such as an all-beef pepperoni pizza. Each franchise also features its sister store, 3 Layers Cafe, and I love 3 Layers, which brings a community coffee house feel and delicious treats such as the famous J-Square dessert nicknamed Crack on a Plate,
which is true,
by the Florida Time Union. Due to his obsessive following, DJ Maceo will be leading the opening of 54 stores nationwide in the coming year. For more information, visit www.pierreseatery.com.
Wow, 54 stores.
Yeah.
So, all over the country, and one is going to be in Jacksonville.
Yep, one's going to be in Jacksonville. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so
hey,
so he's going to be. So we're going to have some connections with DJ Maceo because
I love pizza, and I like when animals are treated humanely. I do. Yeah. You don't want to eat pizza from a beat up pig.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. But people do.
Yeah.
They don't even realize it.
We don't want to.
Yeah, they say when they kill animals, they release a toxin and kind of tarnish the meat.
Yeah, the meat gets tough and hard.
Yeah. So
that's why you want to massage them and.
No, that's really why you want to not eat meat. But anyway, that's just
well, put that in your mouth.
On that note, we're going to take a short break. We do have a guest that I'm excited to announce that'll be joining us momentarily. We'll take a break and hear a word from our sponsor and come back for our guest, Jessica Walton, who'll be joining us in studio. We'll be back. Taste Test Live is supported by listeners like you. If you enjoy the show and want to make sure I can keep making it at this rate, then head over to tastetest.live and click the button that says Patreon. There you can learn how you can help and get some perks for your support. If you're unable to support Taste Test Live financially, then share the show. Tell your friends about it and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast service. I really enjoy sharing this podcast with you and producing it every week. Thank you so much for listening. Welcome back to Taste Test Live. I'm Damian Lamar, host, and I'm sitting in the studio with MJ Baker, my co-host, and Mr. Blue Francois extraordinaire.
Woo! Yeah.
And we're joined in the studio with the lovely Jessica Leigh Walton. Welcome, Jessica.
Hello. How are you? I'm doing well. Thank you.
Good. Glad to have you
here.
How
are you doing?
I'm exquisite.
Oh, that's a lovely word.
That is my go-to word for 2019. Adjective. And I'm trying to find another word that I could use in 2020, because 2020 is a big deal. One, nobody thought we'd be here.
Yeah.
Or we thought we'd be like flying on hoverboards like Jetsons or something.
Saucers
right. Something.
Yeah.
But we're still on the ground. You know, some of us are defying gravity, while others are.
That's a good song.
It is a great song. We'll talk about some songs in a second. But no, for those of individuals who don't know who Jessica Leigh Walton is, I'd like to take a quick moment and introduce you.
Thank you.
By sharing your bio.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jessica Leigh Walton is an accomplished Jacksonville recording artist. As a singer-songwriter, she recorded 2 albums and opened for bands such as Jethro Tull, Vonda Shepard, Dan Fogelberg, and Doyle Dykes, to name a few. She even recorded and performed with Janis Joplin's band, Big Brother, and the Holding Company. As a vocal graduate of the Douglas Anderson School of the Arts and a student at North Carolina School of the Arts, she studied singing in the following various styles: opera, blues, musical theater, jazz, and world music. Jessica Leigh continues to build her varied repertoire while songwriting and maintaining independent music studies. Currently, you can hear her doing backup vocals for Mama Blue, as well as maintaining performances as a solo artist. It's glad to finally have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Quite a list of accomplishments there too.
Yeah, I took a little bit of a break, but the start out of my career was pretty phenomenal. Really, that's when a lot of that stuff happened. So
right at the beginning, out of the gates.
Out of the gate. Yeah.
You came right out of DA, and what was the first thing that happened to you?
Okay, so when I was about 15 years old, I started playing guitar. Went to a church camp, and I met these really cool people that were sort of the outskirts of the church group, you know. And we formed a little, I don't know what the word would be, but we just formed a little group where I learned how to play. Kind of. I guess it was just, anyways, we had this little group that got together, and they taught me some chords and everything. Next thing you know, I'm starting to play guitar, and I told my dad that this is something I was interested in, and my dad had a guitar shop, and he said he would help facilitate that. So he was the one who gave me my first guitar. And John's Music and Pawn is a pretty well-established place for Northeast Florida for a lot of musicians, because a lot of people had their start. And in the process of him seeing me unfold as an artist and him supporting Douglas Anderson and their guitar program and myself and my songwriting, he decided he wanted to open a studio. And he said, look, I've already got artists that are ready to perform and ready to record, and you should be the first. And I had enough songs at the time where, he wanted to record it. And back in the 90s, that was like a a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
Yeah, because nobody really had an album out when they're 17. And
Right. Wait, maybe Nelly Furtado. Like,
yeah.
That's the only person I can think of.
Yeah. Yeah. It was sort of, one of those, like the Cake song, how can you afford your rock and roll lifestyle? It was sort of a dad thing. I'm not going to lie. That's what it was. And at the same time within that came a really interesting juxtaposition because I didn't have a lot of creative control. Because dad was the overseer to that. And it kind of, as well as he intended things to go, it became, I pulled away as a result because the creative control kept me from feeling like it was truly my outlet.
Right. Kind of like Beyonce did with her dad.
Very much.
Yeah.
And
it's like things run its course after a minute, but it's only for the best.
Yeah, I mean, I can't knock it because it was foundational. But at the same time, especially for women, when you grow into a point where you're very well established to be on your own, and you have to like own your voice and say what your limits are, and say this is where I want to see myself and what I want and what I don't want. Then that's when you start putting limits on, even within your career and your art, and you're just saying, I want control and I don't want someone controlling me.
Right.
And that's what ended up happening. And actually, it became a very, very beautiful point within the father-daughter relationship. It was like a rite of passage that I earned his respect. And for me as an artist, it was like, okay, now I may not be as famous as everyone kind of wanted me to be, or they had put their money on me to be, but I was in a place where I felt a lot more control. And then relationships happened and kids happened and a lot of stuff.
Wait a minute, you have kids?
Yes, I do.
I had no idea.
Yes. They're adult kids almost, but
really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So 19 and 18, almost 18. So yeah.
All right.
And I'm still going strong, and it's very cool because now they are individually phenomenal musicians.
I was about to ask you that.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my son's a drummer. My daughter's an amazing guitarist.
So let me ask you a question, Jessica. So because I always want to know this of parents because I don't have any kids.
Sure.
Are people that raise children that are musicians or artists, do you cultivate that, or do you create a space so that they can maintain that level of independence that you needed at a young age? Yeah.
My daughter wanted me to teach her guitar, and I said no. I said I couldn't do it because I loved her. And I knew that oppressive side could come out. I didn't want it to. So I think it was a great thing. She saw me perform. She saw me play. So that was a visual inspiration. But in terms of actually dominating that art and saying, this is how you play and this is how often you play, let me provide a structure. No. And I found a really good, wonderful guitar player who is here in town.
So that's what you did, though. You found someone that you knew could harness that for her. Good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And at that point, it became very much her own. And she's, blew me away. She's so much further along than I ever was on the instrument. So it became something that was her own outlet. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And for my son, same thing. I didn't know how to play drums, and I also felt like for him, it was a great way for him to physically get out a lot of angst as a young man, going through a lot of his own things that he was dealing with, and found a good drummer. And it was, a great connection for them both.
That's awesome. Good job, Mom.
Yay, thanks.
That's good.
I won.
Yeah, because I always, like I said, have in my mind, you want to know that there are parents that actually really do support the artistic endeavors of their children. And it's good to see that you did that, My mom, for me, not making this about me, but
no, please.
I grew up in I took jazz and symphonic band, and she threw you're going to play something, because what happened, I learned how to sing, and then puberty played this really dirty trick on me, and you didn't want to hear me sing. So it was like my 7 years of bad luck. From 12 to 19, I played saxophone.
Oh.
Because she wanted to make sure that I continued to build myself up as an artist in that vein, in the realm of music. You're going to do something musically inclined.
Yeah.
And I studied music theory at that time, so it's just good to have a support system and a parent, It
is. And I think if you can walk away with anything that you're presented and a positive lessons that you learn from it, you're all the better. So even in your story, you know, you learned the conversation and the language of music. That's what you walked away from. I walked away from knowing that I could stand my ground and say, this is what I wanted from my art.
Right. And
my kids learned that they had a supportive mom without being a dictatorial mom on, you know, this is how you do it. I think anything we're presented that's a challenge, we can turn it around to something positive if we will really look. I think it takes a sharper mind sometimes to actually look for the positives within those negative circumstances.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So opening up. So after DA, you got whisked away, and you had your father sort of managing your career.
Yeah.
You became your own independent artist. What were some of the things that you encountered? Once you didn't have your dad, you know, at your side.
So some of the things that happened were just genres, musical genres that I was exposed to, such as learning opera, being exposed to musical theater, learning jazz. I mean, I fell in love, and I met and I learned and I experienced a voice that for me was revolutionary, and that was for me Ella Fitzgerald. And then my senior year of high school, when I felt like I met her and I knew her and actually got to perform a couple of her pieces within the style of the 1940s swing era, I found out, you know, when she passed away, I mourned her death.
Yeah.
And that was very much away from my parents. That was something that I did on my own. When I went to school for North Carolina School of the Arts for opera, that was nobody in my family even plays an instrument.
Wow.
My dad, who had a guitar shop, didn't play guitar. My mom didn't
So you're the
sing.
chosen one.
I'm just the weird anomaly, you know?
Aren't you glad?
Thankfully, yeah. Yeah, I am, you know, and we should all find our niche, you know? Find our space to express ourselves. And for me, it came through a lot of different genres. And then I felt as if every time I learned a new genre, I learned new culture.
Yeah.
And I felt like
history comes with it and everything. Yeah.
Right. You know, and Douglas Anderson was wonderful for that. Being exposed to different cultures and music, and then facilitating ways to further that, I think was just exceptional within Douglas Anderson. And I went on to North Carolina, and it was the same.
So how long did you study opera?
Not very long, because of the culture. That for me was a deal breaker. I could not go down the aristocratic avenue. As much as I loved the actual sound, the forming the sound and creating the sound, I could not placate to a certain socioeconomic clientele. I couldn't do it. It was a deal breaker to conform to that degree. And I just felt as if that's what was required in order to get your foot up in the door and then elevate yourself within that particular area. You had to kind of kiss ass. And that's not going to work for me. Not on that. Yeah. And then finding out that some of the greatest voices ever were just some of the most socioeconomically deprived. Translated for me into going, okay, so what was that about? What is that story? How do you tap into that sound? Because you have to know that life to know that sound,
right?
You know, and where it came from, and that was wow. I'm still on that journey.
Yeah,
I'm still doing that. And I, you know, Whitney Houston was like my first intro to really a voice that was free enough to just say, screw it. I'm just gonna.
This is what I'm doing.
This is what I'm doing. And I think it translated throughout all kinds of classes, all kinds of socioeconomic barriers. And that for me was my first intro. You know, I'll never forget getting that little cassette tape as a kid.
Yeah.
Like,
so it seems like the artistic independence is very, very important to you, and it has been for a long time.
Yeah. Definitely. And it's at the same time, you know, with kids comes practicality. So a lot of it got shelved, and it became, especially when I became a single mom, it became making sure that money was going to be predictable, and I couldn't take chances on that. Making sure just that they were going to turn out okay. That education came first. So there was a time when even in the public schools, the teachers were so bad that I was the substitute teacher. And in no way, shape, or form did I have training to be a substitute teacher. No way, shape, or form was I supposed to be a teacher. And I ended up teaching my son's like second grade class.
Wow.
That legitimately happened. So
Whoa.
I had to take a step and put myself on the shelf.
Yeah.
Say, I'll get to you. You're there. And I'm going to, I started singing in church. I kept singing in church to keep my feet wet. But it was about them.
Your feet or your voice?
Both. Yeah, both.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So baptismal waters. We'll just call it that. Okay.
There you go.
There you go. We'll tie it in. So yeah, but that's really what it was, And then at the same time, it's seeing us all now do music. It's like it was all worth it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. So of the named
Yeah.
performers in your bio, did you have a favorite, like a life-changing moment when you perform with someone, you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. I know I'm doing this and I know exactly, I know that what I'm doing is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. That definitely was not a singer at all. That was with Janis Joplin's band.
Yeah.
Yeah. I idolized her. I remember 3rd and 4th grade, and my dad had like Monterey Pop Music Festival videos, and I saw her, and I never knew someone could be that transparent on the stage.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about her voice; it was about taking the entire body and almost making it translucent.
Yes. She
And saying-
used
It was
everything. She used her whole body
Yeah.
when she sang.
Yeah. And then learning her bio, I was like, that there's a reason for why that was, because of the level of torment and so forth. Anyways, won't get into her bio, but with the whole band, I never thought something like that could happen, to be able to play with her band and perform with them. And actually, Sam Andrew, God rest his soul and God bless him, he believed in me enough to actually give me one of the songs that she was supposed to sing, and I recorded it for my second album.
Wow.
So it wasn't just playing with them like up on stage, but we actually recorded together, and that was, I'm separated with her by 1 degree of separation, and I'll hold on to that forever.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's got to be awesome. So how long did that happen?
It was 1997, I believe, is when that took place.
That
So
was
it
a really good, that was a prolific year for music. There was
Yeah.
a lot of changing and rebirthing happening
Yeah.
in music, like genres created.
Well, you had the internet coming on.
Yeah, yeah.
You had people melding that were, and you had, all of a sudden people sharing files and stuff that,
that you couldn't otherwise. Yeah.
We were so cut off from each other, and it's been a beautiful thing to actually have that.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah,
to
you're
watch
right.
the evolution over the last 30 years is crazy.
Yeah, you're
20,
right.
20 years, 21. Yeah.
Right. But it's pros and cons.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we can talk. Everybody knows the negatives because we were inundated with all that. But the pros are that you have people that are doing these incredible, combinations of sounds that would have never happened.
Right.
Collaborations that were just kind of like, I mean, come on, Billy Ray Cyrus and Lil Nas. I mean, come on.
I know.
We have to applaud that within the human story. These kinds of things are happening, and we're not.
And I would really love to know how that happened, though. You
Right.
think about it, like,
Out of
because
nowhere.
that's such an odd pairing.
Right. Right.
So
True.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So talk about Mama Blue. You're performing with her. Are you like, what's up with that?
That lady, man. We
had her on the show, and she
Yes.
performed for us. She did 2 live songs, which I think you're preparing to do something for us too, right?
Yeah, I think so. So with Mama Blue, we go way back to high school. And she was my first introduction to Douglas Anderson. It was Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, one of my
and
favorite.
she nailed it, man. She was just phenomenal. I could not get over her voice. And then we went on to do musicals together, and we did lots of performing together. And I always thought she was, the hilt of the sword of Douglas Anderson vocal program.
Yeah.
And she threw that honor and glory to me at different times. And that sisterhood of like mutual respect and adoration, man, to this day, here I was wanting to get back into music. And she's like, girl, you're going to come with me. You're going to do this with me. are you kidding me? Like you want me? You know, it's one of those kind of moments, you know, and I still feel that way about her. And I love her heart and I love her passion and I'm proud of her success. It's very much my sister has gone on that far, you know, and she's got more room to grow. So, yeah.
And she's got you tagging along with her.
I pray, if not as a cheerleader all the way, no matter what she chooses for herself. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I would love it if you would be so gracious enough to share a song or two with us and our listeners.
All right.
We can do one song for people who are listening to the interview and one song for our Patreon supporters.
Oh.
Yeah, so a little private show for them.
I can dig on that. That's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So we're going to take a quick break while Jessica sets up, and we'll be right back.
This next song that I wrote is a song called Bring It Home. And it's a little bit of a bluesy thing. And nothing heavy. Just enjoy. I gotta get my feels on.
You're coming my way, but you can't come fast enough. No other man suffices, 'cause you got all the right stuff. So bring it home, baby. Bring me what you got. Bring it home, baby. Bring me what you got. No diamond, just need your touch to make me hot. The letters you wrote me, sugar, having nothing but a tease. To hold you in my arms would set my soul free. Kissing your picture, holding you tight. No other man suffices if you got me all night. So bring it home, baby. Bring me what you got. So bring it home, baby. Bring me what you got. I ain't asking for no diamond, just need your touch to make me hot. Said bring it home to mama, mama. Need your love and touch. Gotta need, gotta love you, daddy. Your pictures aren't enough. Don't you know that I'm dying, baby? I'm falling at the seam. Holding my love now would set my soul free. So bring it home, baby. Bring me what you got. So bring it home, baby. Bring me what you got. I ain't asking for no diamond, just need your touch to make me hot.
All right, Jessica, thank you so much for sharing and giving so much of your songs.
Well,
so
thank
many,
you for having
two
me.
songs.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I enjoyed it very much.
I appreciate being here. I enjoyed myself. Y'all are amazing.
Thank you.
This staff, this group, Damian Lamar, Taste Test. Yes, you got
Thank
it
you.
going on here for sure. Yeah.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. I'm glad that I have a platform to be able to share your music with the world.
Thank you.
Take a quick moment and tell everybody what's coming up next, how they can find you on social media.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'd like to give a shout out to Smith Holsey and Busey, my law firm. They are very supportive. They actually got together and they are trying to get me to do this like TV gig. So they pulled their money together to send me on this like thing. Yeah, so
TV gig.
yeah. I'm not going to mention any more than that because if I
Okay.
don't do well, then
Like, is it okay? Is it as a national syndicated show?
yes,
Okay.
nationally
Oh.
syndicated thing. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
So, so I really love them because they recognize that it's who they are to me, and
Absolutely.
it's not like my passion to be there in terms of like my job, but I do it well and I love them and I love.
And they love you.
Yeah, they do. They do. It's mutual. So, with all that said, Veg Fest is coming up June 8th, and that's in Riverside, and they have grown exponentially with
Yeah.
the following. So they have actually moved to having it like I think 2 or 3 times a year now, something like that. So I got in on that. I was asked to do a gig for that. So it's a couple hours for Veg
That's
Fest.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'll be there to check it out.
Yeah, please
Yeah,
do. And
yeah.
I think my son's going to be running the sound for me and stuff.
Oh,
too.
okay,
So,
cool.
Yeah.
So he does that too, in addition to playing drums.
Yes, he's
Wow.
that kid's
Masterful.
Gonna do, yes, he is. He really is.
All right, okay.
So thank you for
How
asking.
can we find you on? Are you on social media?
I am currently on Instagram under Jessica Leigh Walton, and you can also follow me on my Facebook page for Singer Jessica Leigh.
Singer
And
Jessica
that's
Leigh.
Leigh.
All right.
People are going to wonder what the heck that is, too.
Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Everybody, thanks so much for listening to Taste Test Live. We hope you enjoyed the show and the music. And thank you so much to our guest this week, Jessica Leigh Walton, for dropping by the studio to share your gift with the world.
Oh.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. That'll do it for us, guys.